Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm going to do a little reveal. And seems like there's a lot of light in here all of a sudden. But this is my old camera. So before you come in the chat, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video. So I had fully intended to go to Michael's and get the yarn for the hats, but I was pleasantly surprised when I came into went to my thrift shop, which my car seems to have really good radar on these days, and I found exactly what I was looking for. Really nice quality. Hey, Kirsten, welcome in. My camera's a little bit wider because it's the old camera. So as you know, I'm in the hat. Hey, Brian, welcome in. I'm in the hat making business in between everything else. So I figured this camera would be better because it would show things more true to light than, and it's good to see you, Kirsten. So I was out, I didn't get a lot, but like I said, the hat business is definitely taking off. I had offered these hats months ago and no one was interested, and all of a sudden they become all the things. So I am making hats. I do newsboy hats and I do berets, and I recently discovered a new hat. I recently discovered a new pattern which is in construction right now. There was also a short on a hat that I had finished that was it's kind of variegated, and that one is up as well. They are $25 a piece plus tax, which to get something handmade of that quality is almost unheard of. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I do pretty good work, I think. But I was out, and man, did I found something that was directly up my alley, and it had Kate Spade behind the name, and they were still in the box with the original tag. And there's Sharon, welcome in, with the original tag. And you know, me being the person I am, and there's Lenore, welcome in. And I am working, I still have some more to go. I've had things go out. And you know, when I come up, I have to come upstairs, so it's hobble, hobble, step, step. So I am getting better, but it seems like the aftermath of it is, it's still there, but I took a licking and I'm still ticking. So, but anyway, I was so thrilled when I found these. They were right up my alley. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, to be able to come into a place and get something that you were looking for and not even have to go to another place to get it. And I really don't like to drive at night, but I can do it. So let's get into this. And yes, we have Kate Spade. This camera's not that hot, guys. And of course, they have the more high-end things in the case. And there is Jen. Welcome in. And y'all know that I am quite guilty of wearing really fancy stuff, and this was no exception. And these were from Von Mar. And I have the original receipt, however faded it may be. And it looks like these, I can't tell what it is. I do have the receipt. It's so faded. It says shoes. I think they were like 200 and some odd dollar shoes. So when I saw them in the case and the price they had it for, there was a no-brainer in that equation. And check this out. These are Kate Spade, of course. You know, Kate Spade is associated with that classic bow. And these are very much me. And they are marked Kate Spade on the bottom as well. And my camera is probably stinking about now. And y'all know this is how I roll, and y'all know when I wear these, what, thank you, Brian, what it's going to be. And this is made out of a nice material. And these are Kate Spade. These retailed for over $200, but I got them for 42. So when I went in there, I asked to look at them, and naturally I was drawn to them. And thank you, Lenore, for dropping. I was drawn to them. So when you can get a pair of over $200 boots for 42 bucks, yes, please. So I said, put those behind the counter, and I was still shopping, but I just loved them, and I thought, wow. And they did come from Von Meyer, which is this real, yeah, Brian, they were, which is this real high. Of course, the receipt is long since faded, but it does say Van Mar, and we know that place is notorious for high dollar items, so that's where they came from. Still in their original wrap. Thank you, Lenore, for dropping that in the original box. And since fall is here upon us, I'm going to be wearing these. I'm not beyond. They look like they've never been. They could have very well been a sample and sold as a sample, but they're in great shape, and I bought them. So when I seen them, I'm like, oh my goodness. All right, Sharon, right in the original box. They're black and gold leopard print sequins, and somebody marked the price off of them, but I'm sure Von Meyer is not a cheap place. I've never even heard of it, and the name even sounds ritzy, so naturally I picked those up. And also, now, guys, if this is an original poster of this, we're talking about some good money, and I'll show it to you. I have not cracked the back of this. Johnny Cash and Elvis Presley with Carl Perkins. I'm telling you guys, if this is original, this is worth a lot of money, and I haven't even taken the back off of it. But there they are, National Guard. That must have been, maybe a charity type thing with Carl Perkins. And from the fading on that, it could be. I'm going to take it out and I'm going to see if this is original. Not very many of these are around, and it's probably worth a lot of money. Just saying, because I do know that there are people that collect posters. This is a good one. And I seen it and I looked at it and I thought, well, then I continued to walk on and something told me to pick it up. So I'm going to open this up and we're going to look at the back. Like I said, not too many of these survived. And if there's Elvis fans out there, which Elvis is loved around the world, wouldn't this be great for someone's collection? Just saying. So I'm going to pop the back. I didn't even pop the back in the store because I had a feeling about it when I walked, I seen it and I'm like, wow, So we're going to pop the back on this. And we're going to see what this is. If this is original, this is worth a lot of money. Just saying. It could be a repop, but who knows? I don't see anything on the back at all. But it does appear to be on poster board. So I'm going to have to look into this because this could be worth, there's no signatures. This could be worth a lot of money to people that collect music memorabilia. Just saying. So I'll have to look into it further because it could be worth a lot of money. So, and I thought, I seen it and I'm like, well, and then I decided to go back and get it. And that may have just been the decision of the century. So I'll have this looked into, because if that's original, guys, we're talking some big money. Let me put this back like I had it. I know there's people out there that do collect that memorabilia, and if it's rare, if it's you don't see it a lot, then people probably will be after it. It's put in a very nice frame. Um, I was just real admission $1.25. You know that was a long time ago. Hey Deb, welcome in. But yes, if that is original, jackpot. Good to see you, Deb. I'm glad you came on in. So my initial thing, I was going to Michael's to pick up yarn. Good to see you, Deborah. And I just happened to stop into my favorite consignment. And guys, I'm not much on reading, but we were talking about that last night in January House's Mike's chat. Oh my gosh, Deb, I bet you, no wonder you was nervous when you came on here, because I think you know what this is. But I'm not much on reading, but this book is entitled Days to Remember. Oh, shoot. So naturally, I did pick it up. And the copyright is from 1956, Harper and Brothers. So this talks about many things, like it's got hundreds of pictures in it, and I'm a picture person. And you have the war is over, and you have photographs of the exact pictures that were made back in the day. And it just goes on, and it's Gunther and Quint. And it just has really neat things about the, let's see, let me go back here. Hey, Derek, welcome in, sweetie. But I like to look at pictures, and y'all probably know that. And there's a lot of pictures in here that are very historic. And you may recognize some of these people. And it goes on and on. And, well, Deb, I didn't have any Elvis stuff till about an hour and a half ago. But it's just a really neat pictorial of the way things were back in the day. Let's see here, guys. Pictures like that right there. We got a wedding down here. And it's just really neat. And because I'm a picture person, and because of the I think this may be very, very Eleanor Roosevelt and Ralph Bunche. And it's just really interesting, guys. It's chocked full of pictures of the bygone era, and it's just really, really neat. And trust me, I'm not a reader, but I felt like this was very, very neat. All the pictures, and let's see here. Good Lord. Now, this is my vibe. They got Cadillacs in there. There's a picture of a dealership right there. And just really neat memorabilia from the past, all condensed into this one book. And I absolutely love it. I loved it because I love pictures. I like looking at things from the past, and it's I felt like it was, for it to survive that many years, it's a great thing. Let's see here. But it is very interesting, and it goes on and on. I'm trying to show you some really good pictures in here, and welcome in everyone. Welcome in, Tammy. Welcome in. And if you missed the first part of the video, I picked up a over $200 pair of Kate Spade boots for $42 in the box with the original receipt that has faded. But I said, hey, Burt Lancaster and Deborah Kerr. That was back when that was back in the day. There they are at the top there. That's probably From Here to Eternity. And just a really amazing pictorial. I don't have Elvis items anymore, gave to family. Just a real neat pictorial of things in the past that I'm sure a lot of us remember. And hey, Boats, welcome in. You're a new subscriber, and thank you for doing that and for coming in. I appreciate it. And there is Nana. Welcome in, sweetie. But it's just a neat pictorial of the things from the past that the most memorable moments. So here, I'm sure we know who this is in this picture. I mean, that's obvious who that is. That's Prince right there on their wedding day. It just, I thought it was really neat because it reminds you of a bygone day. Listen to this. Now, this is Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball. But incidentally, my husband works at Ford Motor Company, and it says Ford Motor Company spent $500,000 to celebrate its 50th anniversary with an elaborate 2-hour show. And there we have it right there. Whoops. A very nice Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball right there, if I can get the light off of it. So, as most of you know, I posted a thing about, they had a horrible, hey, here's a comic. They had a horrible explosion over at the UPS hub in Kentucky. And my husband works at Ford Motor Company, which they was really lucky because, I mean, if you would have seen that, it was horrible. And they moved them to another end of the building and eventually let them go home. And it was scary. I mean, there's a lot of people that were deceased. Some people, they can't even find them. But what had happened was it took off. It was carrying jet fuel, and welcome in, Beth. It was carrying jet fuel, and it went to take off, and it just burst into flames. Oh, wow. Deb said, my husband retired from Ford Motor Company along with my dad. And welcome in, Miss Lucy. It's good to see you. But, I mean, and they were carrying jet fuel to Honolulu, Hawaii. And it just, I know, Beth, I mean, that was, Ford Motor Company is not far from that. And it was, the pilots did not have a chance because, it was, it's still under investigation, the cause of it. but it was so devastating, and the loss of life and people missing and injured. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that's got really heavy burns on their body from it. And there's Face the Ace, welcome in, because it just boom, and it threw things over on other buildings. And you're welcome. It is horrible, Beth, and to think how, we get up in the morning and we begin our day and we don't realize, what could happen in that day. And, it was so far spread that if there's no way you could get away from it because it was in the vicinity. I mean, it was terrible, guys. It really was. Yeah, that's true, Deb. And also in Louisville, Kentucky, there was an explosion. Okay, Sharon, enjoy your company and thank you for coming in. Don't forget that thumbs up. There was another tragedy in Kentucky with this plant that made dye for like Coca Cola and stuff like that. Something blew up in there and killed umpteen people. Everything went over on homes were damaged, and who knows, they may not have even taken care of that yet. And what was the name of that? But they made dye for food coloring dye for like Coca-Cola and stuff like that. Thank you, Sharon. Got to hit that thumbs up. But that's why that we should make every moment of our life count, because we never know when some horrible thing could happen. I mean, nothing's guaranteed, and it's just really scary. But Ford's evacuated the employees to Ford's is a big place, guys, and they also have a truck plant, and they evacuated them to a different part of the building. And then they finally let them go home, and they were off today. But the things that, if you was within, I think they said it went a mile and a half radius, and guys, it was terrible. And you just can't imagine what those people were going through right now. And some people they can't find. So it's a tragedy, guys. Hey Beth, do you like Elvis? Oh, here's old Richard Nixon here, right at the top with Ike Eisenhower, right there at the top there. Boy, he was young back then. Look at all that dark hair. Okay, Beth, hang on to your hat. I found this, and like I was telling him, I wasn't sure about it at first. I looked at it, and I'm like, And then I walked to another part of the store, and then something kept telling me to go back and get it, and I'll show it to you. Right there. And it was only $1.25, guys. That was many moons ago. Just look at that. And if this is original, I'll have to put it back straight in the mat, but it says Johnny Cash and Elvis Presley direct from his Louisiana Hayride appearance with special guest Carl Perkins singing his new song Blue Suede Shoes March the 10th, 1956, 7 p.m., National Guard Armory, 9th Street, North Armory, Mississippi, which I think Elvis was born in Tupelo, Mississippi. And it's got a number on the bottom, right there on the bottom. See that 232? So we never know, guys. This might be a humdinger of a fun. So I know it, but this is the Kate Spade I found, Beth. At um, you know I'm you know how I roll, and their boots they retailed for over $200, and I got them for 42. Hey, Roddy, welcome in. Check that action. These are Kate Spade. And see the sparkle, sparkle. I'll be donning those. I'll be walking like John Travolta when he was singing the song "Staying Alive." Aren't those beautiful? Can you believe it's got the receipt, but it's so faded. It was from Von Mar, and you know that's a high dollar. Y'all know I'm silly, right? That's already been determined. But I found a comic in here. Family Circus 1978. Oh my goodness, here's another piece of history I didn't know was in there. Where's my all seeing eye? 1973, the Register and Tribune Syndicate. And here is the Family Circus cartoon. Why that was in that book, I don't know. I'll move it in even more. So Family Circus must have been around for a little bit. Here's the I guess it was in there for a reason. And welcome in, Roddy. And so I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that because it might be a repop. It may not be. Somebody might have slapped that on a printer, but still, it's a nice piece of memorabilia either way. But this book it's got all kinds of pictures, and I love pictures. It says times have changed in Boston. A pretty girl walks down the street in a bikini bathing suit. Now that could have been considered scandalous. And there she is. That could have very well been the introduction of the two-piece swimsuit. Brian, cover your eyes. So she just walks, as you can see, the attention it draws from the guy in the corner there. I'm doing better, Beth. I can still feel the aftermath of it. But my little toe, was off to the side and bent that way, and I just moved it back. And I thought, oh no, if my toe's like that, I'll scream. Not that I'm a foot model, mind you. So I moved it over. I had a long place that long where the skin just scooted up, accompanied by a smaller one and bruising. I know that, she was walking down through there like she owned the place. I guess if you have the figure to wear one, I guess. Yeah, I'm on the mend. It seems like the aftermath is a little worse than the thing, but if you'd have seen my toe, my little toe, was like, do not tell me that my toe is going to look like that. So I moved it over and worked with it, and it went back. It didn't pop. I thought I broke it, guys. I thought, emergency room, here we come. But it was just really strained and bent in a weird position. So the part that I could have went head first in the desk concerned me more than anything. But I tell you, Shannon, my husband and the dogs were in a deep sleep, and Shannon come running down the steps, and I'd already gotten up off the floor, and I was like, oh dear me. But It hurt like the dickens. And it's so scary because you don't know where you're going to land. And, but I know, Beth, that's the hardest thing on me, according to my husband. No, just kidding. But yeah, I really could have been hurt. And I'm just so thankful that God was definitely there because of theory of relativity. Thank you, Roddy. I'm on the mend. I take Motrin, and by laws of nature, I should have went. It's like a desk, but it's like a plant stand too, and I could have plowed right into that. So even though it was a harrowing situation, I did. Well, I guess, Deb, when I missed that last step, I guess maybe my foot might have turned. Hey, R&R may have turned. I don't, guys, only I could fall that way. And I guess, I don't know, it happened so fast. And I guess my foot kind of went, maybe, I don't know, guys. It's a wonder if I didn't break something. But it's on the left foot, the pinky toe, and the one next to it. Hey, Minnie, welcome in. Yes, Minnie, I think there was an angel involved because I could have went head first right into this. It's a desk, but I use it as a plant stand because it's got different levels and welcome in Miss Minnie. But I'll tell you, if it could be done, I could probably do it and wouldn't even know how it happened. But I'm feeling much better, guys. And there are aches and pains, but when you fall, you can't expect to come out of it unscathed. But I'm doing fine, and thank you all for your concerns. It really means a lot to me that, I tell you, when you fall, it's no joke. It really isn't. Oh, you must see this. This is made of Florida oranges and bathing beauties. So down here on the bottom, right there on the bottom, those are ladies in swimsuits with your oranges in the center, if I can get it straight, in the center, and they all have swimsuits on right there in the corner. As you can see, their formation, and those are all oranges. Hey, Doug, welcome in. But yes, I'm doing much better. But yeah, it's we just never know, guys. What what was it that Laura says about a beautiful woman? But this is very interesting. It's called Days to Remember. It's a pictorial, and I'm not a reader. I love pictures, and it's good to see you, Doug. And today I'm wearing a miss or mishmash of jewelry. Of course, this is from Doug. This is that real pretty Taxco. Over here, we have another Doug special on the bottom that is sterling and copper. These are copper. These are from Kirsten. That right there is a ring from Leslie Black Dog Vintage. Right beside it is another ring from Designs Laura. Thank you, Brian. But but I'm hoping that this picture is what I think it is. Doug's pretty knowledgeable. Look what I found, Doug. Now, buddy, if that's not a duo, I don't know what is. But it is pretty cool. So I'm hoping that there's a little monetary value behind that. And the Kate Spade boots, and man, am I going to rock those, just saying. Thank you. Also, I did go to town. I was going to get, um, I know, that is, I mean, what a combo. Two legends together. Really? I mean, Johnny Cash and Elvis, you don't get any more nostalgic than that, right? So I had all intentions of going to Michael's to get some yarn because I have a couple of sweet people, and one of them is Minnie that wants a green beret. So I happened to stop in the this consignment that I always go to and found the Kate Spade boots that had a $200 value on them for like 42. And then look at this, guys. Now this is fate. There's no other way out of it. I found. Look what I found, guys. Look at the green. And this is expensive yarn, but that's not all. I've got two of them. And that one was Karen Cakes, the most expensive yarn that you can get. And look at this. I have more green with sparkles in it. And I do have an order for two hats. So guess who's going to be rocking that hook? And as you know, there was, and I was going to go to Michael's. I had all intentions of going, but I go into a consignment shop and find brand new yarn. What's the chances? So I knew what I needed. I need to make two green berets. One is for Minnie, and the other one is for T. T's hat from Tanya went out today, as well as the hat that Tanya gifted Leslie. Those went out today. And thank you, Brian. And you will see one that is available in a short that I put out. Yes, Minnie. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, man, this something just told me to go there. Of course, I don't need to be nudged to go there, and you guys know that. But it's Karen Cakes, which is a very high end yarn, and right here at Christmas. But when you can get this is Karen, and that stuff's expensive, guys. Just saying, all day long. Christmas glitter. And this here is a different kind of yarn, a different pile of yarn. And this brand is Holiday Homespun, and it's Lion brand, and it's good stuff. I mean, when you can walk into, and it's all brand new, guys. It was probably donated by, but look at that, guys. Look at all the projects that are in this. And the best, yes, please. You won't believe what I gave for these. There's 4 skeins in there of really high-end yarn. Let's just say, let me put it to you like this. There's 4. I would say what I paid for this, and you would have to add more to it, would pay for 1. And I got a bonus, guys. Just saying. And this one, I got 3 of these. And this is that Karen yarn. That's that good stuff. Y'all know I ain't going to be putting out no cheap stuff out there. And there's a beautiful green. And how beautiful is that going to work up? And I thought, what a coincidence that I can walk into a consignment shop and find what I was going for, but didn't have to go further to get it. Does that make sense? It does to me. So, yes, love the hats. Would love to get a kid's one in lavender. You know what, Beth? I've got a lavender, but I think it's a baby lavender. Yeah, going to be made with class and fast, right? And Leslie had ordered a Newsboys cap, and I had the auction on Friday, and by the end of the night on Saturday, toward the end of the day, it was done. And so, I'm pretty fast, but let me show you Debbie. Get over here, Debbie. This is one that's also up for grabs. Now it's variegated, guys. That's why things fell the way they did. But here is Debbie sporting the latest fashion of beret that is up for sale. You could add a brooch to it and rock on. We may have just started something. Isn't that beautiful? And there's Debbie. She never says a word. Thank you. Well, thank you, Romel. I'm pretty good at certain things, but I haven't cornered the market on everything. And Beth, you came up with a good idea I wanted to tell you. We were talking about in Beth's chat if I had, tags made up, and this is a great idea. And Doug said, Gina, I have to get my order in while I can. Doug, you're getting one for Christmas. I love my first hat from you very much. All you got to do is tell me what color, Doug. And remember, Christmas is coming. And how many days away is Christmas, guys? And Beth came up with the perfect name, Gina's Gear, as in, GEAR. And that is perfect. Yes, Doug, it's for sale. I didn't see anybody beating down my email. This one is for sale. And see, the reason why the colors are broke up is because this was the kind of yarn that breaks off in color. But yes, sir, that's for sale all day long. All day long. But see, I often have fun watching to see where these colors are going to fall. And this is a very nice yarn as well. It's a thicker ply and just right for those cold winter days. Let me see if I know I got a brooch up here somewhere. Let's really get into this, guys. All right. I'm sitting up here on no telling what. And here's my mascot, Pinky Tuscadero. That's what her name is. So we'll set her there in case someone comes in. We have to pull the trap door. Let's see. Not that I'm hoping that, but we never know when the trap door will need to be pulled. And what do we got here? You are selling this one? Yes, sir. Where are all my? Here I'm sitting up here with on a gold mine, and where's it at? I got brooches. I know I do. Now, come on. Once I locate them. Well, for Pete's sake, guys. You know what this means? I need to get more organized, right? If I get too organized, I won't be able to find nothing. I find that very, where the blankety, excuse me. Talk about doing a 180. I just want to show you guys an example of, good Lord, You say, dang, she bends pretty good for falling down the steps. So what I'm saying, you could attach a brooch onto that, and you will definitely be styling and profiling. And you could put that brooch right on there, and you could just walk down the street like, and there's Leslie, welcome in, sweetie. Like nobody gonna tell you nothing, right? And how beautiful would that be? You could do your own thing. Now Tanya's the one I sent her earlier. I did a detachable flower, and Doug, don't worry about yours. You're getting yours for Christmas. Just tell me the color, or you want me to pick it? I can do that. I'm the head picker up in here, right? But it is very lovely. You can wear it different ways, all according to what your vibe is. You can hike it up there and put you a big brooch right there and carry on, right? I also do newsboys caps, which, of course, I already told him he's getting one for Christmas. So, anyway, but oh my gosh. Okay, Doug, I will pick something that's very suitable. I will. And what I've been doing, guys, is trying to use up a lot of yarn that I have on hand. That way we can move on to, unless it's a specialty. Now, I had a request for one that was done in specialty yarn, and I just happened to pick that up because I liked it. I got the ones that was on sale. Then I looked over and saw that, but I think I got it at Michael's. They had a good sale on it. But yes, the hats. That's why I made these head guys in case someone that wanted one didn't get one and they wanted to buy one. So here's one that's ready made. Let me find my phone. I'll show you the next one that's I'm going to do. Big Pinterest fan here, and I'll show it to you. Let me find it here. I'm the type that if I see something I like, I automatically try to reproduce it. And the top part of this one is going to be bright red. And whoa, let me dim this light before I blind half a dozen of you. Where's that thing that dims the light on this thing? Let me see. And blinded by the light. Where's my dimmer at? You get a phone, and sometimes you just kind of. There, we'll back it up. Let me see this. Okay, let's go back. It's still bright, for God's sake. I turned it down but anyway, it's like it fits tighter. It's more like a kind of in the same realm of Doug's, except it's a female and it will have attached flower. It's two-toned. I've got the red part done, and I'll have to think about the color that I want on the bottom. To be clear, I do not want the current beret you have. I do want the current beret you have as well. Doug, it's a flat rate. These are $25 each plus shipping, because that's how I did them before, and I felt like it was fair. Now, if I have to get a specialty yarn, it's a little bit more because sometimes it's like that. And looks like, Doug, I don't see anybody fighting you, so we'll say sold. Who's this for? Oops. Who's this for, Doug, not being nosy? Say, she's nosy as all get out. So we're sold. And what occasion is it for? Is it for now? Last year, one year I offered gift wrapping. Now that was before. Now it is official. Where's that bell at? Probably where the rest of the stuff is in the abyss. Let's see. Here's a pair of scissors. Yes, it is very lovely. It's made very well in the yarn. You can see the quality in that yarn. So I will take it off Debbie's head now that she has suited her purpose. And boom. But it is lovely though. I mean, the reason why it looks sketchy like that is because that's how the pattern fell. The yarn that I use, that's how. So it's not incomplete, it's just part of the pattern. But I will be crocheting more. A lot of people have said they wanted them, and just, uh, email me at this right here. Wait a minute, get up here. Man, I tell you, I'm way faster on the phone. Lord, I wouldn't win any competition for typing. I'm faster on the phone, and this is where you will send your request to this email right there. Sure, Leslie. You want one in black? I think I may have some black yarn. Yes, ma'am. You got it. Let me get the old tablet here. Yeah, the newsboys hats are really, it seems like they fit well, and they're Leslie. Let me pencil you in here, black. And I'm sure I've got black. Okay, newsboy. In black. You got it. Leslie. And congrats to you, Miss Leslie. I'm sure I've got some black because black is a very basic color that most people do have in their arsenal. So I do try, and when I'm not crocheting on yours or doing some directly after I finish someone's hat, I'm on to the next. I'm working another hat. If someone orders something, then good. Then I'll be ready for anything. I always like to stay ahead of the game. Right, Pinky? Now is that adorable or what? And she's got little sparkles. Doug, I bet your putty cats would have fun with this little girl. They'd probably be, use her as a toy. But yeah, I'm always creating, and I like to utilize my time. And there could be something really special coming down because I do crochet baskets as well. I do starch them in sugar. I do add ribbon to the handles, tie it off in a frilly bow. And the Christmas ones are really pretty because they have poinsettias. And I have 3 or 4 crocheted up. And I'm telling you, when my mother-in-law taught me, and it's really a craft that is very handy because a lot of people they get confused when they crochet. I would love to teach people how to do it when I get off the end of the hook. But it is a craft. Men, I think Dennis crochets, and it's something that you have to have patience. Rome was not built in a day. Every journey begins with a step, and you have to start somewhere. Shoot, you know where I started, guys? I made a bride doll's dress on a doll. Talk about Miss Go Get 'em. I made a bride doll dress and put it on a doll, and even around her flowers, the little what they call the nosegay was crocheted. Me being the overachiever that I am, I sure did. And I sold that thing. I just really, really wanted to learn, and I just observed. I would watch my mother in law crochet, and I thought, I'd really like to do that. And I was in my early 20s. You know how long ago that was. And I just picked it up and just went from there, And I always, once I learned the stitches and understood the pattern, then I took off very readily with, and I just really enjoyed it. And the rest is history. But I've given, and thank you for the hearts, I have given a lot of crochet away totally. But hey, I kind of like to, when you give something away, you give away a part of yourself. And I've always enjoyed that I crocheted this cylinder thing, and it had a lid on it. There was a lid that fit on top of this, and it was crocheted. And on the top, there was a little arrangement of flowers on top with ribbon around the edges. Now, when you get to the point where you're that good where you can starch something and make a lid fit over something you crocheted, that's what I call showboating. But I can do it. But I use the old sugar method, where you take sugar and add water and cook it to, you don't want it, you want to get it hot, but not real hot. You pull it off the stove, dip your crocheted piece in it, and form it over whatever you want to form it over. And Confucius say, do not put crochet piece in really, really hot sugar mixture, because you're going to get burnt. So, and then I just take it out and shape it over whatever form I have. And then as it dries, it hard as a brick. I mean, it's really, I could never achieve what I wanted to with these baskets with commercial starch. I couldn't do it. So I just go back to the old ways and do what my mother-in-law taught me, and it works every time. So I always have fun. The only thing with sugar, you do not want to starch anything that is crocheted that's colored, because it would look like Frosty the Snowman. Do you, Leslie? I've gotten to wear here lately that I wear them every now and again, but I find that the sugar method is the best for me, and I get the best results with it, and it's just fun, fun, fun. And Brian, hey, Sheldell, we was looking at some. This is a small but mighty, and I decided to come on because I felt like that. Quit staring at people. No, I'm kidding. We got Kate Spade boots, brand new in the box, retail for over 200 for 42, brand new. We have this piece of memorabilia. I forgot to put it back in there correctly, but two legends right there, Johnny Cash and Elvis Presley. It could be something, it may not be, but hey, people do collect memorabilia. So let it not be said that there's not something for everyone, right? Yeah, I have a knack for design and I turned it crochet. Yeah, I kind of honed that in, but speaking of getting hurt, years ago I worked at for a vending company, and so I was getting ready to. Speaking of injuries, was getting ready to go to lunch, and all the stock was in this garage type thing that had a door that pulled down. Well, and it was my birthday that day of all days. I went to pull that door down, and let me tell you something, it came, the top part swung down and hit me in the head. And if I would have been looking up, it would have broke my nose. So it was on a college campus, and I went up to the front and I told him what happened. And that lady said, "You better sit down. You don't look so good." I said, "Well, I was hit in the head." So I called my husband. When you get a hit to the head, it's always good to be checked out. So I sat there for 45 minutes, and my boss said, "Don't go anywhere till I get there." Well, duh, it was. I sat there for 45 minutes, and I said, "I'm done." Oh my goodness. I wouldn't give them a french fry, but people who say dumb things, I got a trap door for them. Whoops, I don't want to get the wrong person. Wait a minute. Now, now, if you got something that's good to say and not silly, you may say it, but that was way out there, so I'd buy them a whole Happy Meal. I would too, Shell Bell, but I think this guy was a clown. And when that happens, we hit the switch to the trap door and see ya. Hey Sandra, welcome in, sweetie. We had a comedian in here a while ago. Hey, if anybody's gonna make jokes on this channel, it's gonna be me, right? He was being silly. Now he probably had that channel for a hot 5 minutes. So we must get rid of people who come in and think things are. Now if I laugh about it, it's different. If I make the joke, it's different, but I don't want any, no comedians allowed. Oh, don't they just think they're the bee's knees? They probably do, but there is that button, the button of fate, right? And sometimes you do have to remove comments. A lot of times at night people come in and say really silly things. If they say one thing silly, they're going to say a bunch. So if you just delete their comment, give them a second chance, and then if they do it again, it's actual execution time then. So, but yeah, so I'll go up to the college, and I was waiting on my boss. And I told my husband, I said, "Forget it. Let's go to this little emergency room." I haven't neither, Brian. It's probably had it for a hot 5 minutes and decided to try it out, I guess. I don't know. And of course, you want to have your head scanned because so it was this scenario. See, I was injured on Ivy Tech's premises, but I was working for a vending company. So naturally, when you get hit in the head, you better go be checked. And I got a letter from a collection agency over that bill. And I told my boss, I said, "Let me tell you something. I've got good insurance, but you know what's going to happen? I said, somebody's, I don't care. They was arguing. Well, it's, you was on their clock. Well, if she got hit on your property. I said, let me tell you something. If I don't get paid, I'm going to call my insurance company and tell them why I have to claim it. And I'm giving them your number. Now, if it's, it better get paid. I said, don't mess with me because I don't play. And I said, as far as you missed 45 minutes late, I said, I could have been passed out on the floor. Well, I got caught up in traffic. I said, well, what was wrong with your phone? Was your phone out of order or what? Man, I mean, I was respectful, but I'll tell you what, I could get really nasty, but they wanted to squibble over who was, well, it was on Ivy Tech's property, but I was working for a company. If you ask me, they should have split it. Brian, you're so bright. Did you, Shell Bell? I know Shell Bell does have some, she's got health problems. Did you have to light them up, Shell Bell? Did you have to tell them about how they're supposed to do it? And that's another thing. Service today in America really stinks. It's like nobody cares anymore. They want to come in there, click, get on the clock, and they're watching the clock the whole time. And there's no, people do not take pride in what they do. Mr. Valdi almost got whooped by a girl. Oh Lord, Shell Bell, are you sure we're not related somewhere? Oh my goodness. I hope you got it straightened out, Shell Bell, because medicine's important. Say dang, said oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad, Shell Bell, because I know you take medication that's important to your health, and it's not, I'm glad you got it. And it's hard on you to get upset. You get mad and your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up. Gotta go, Gina. Thanks for the cool hat and sharing your great wares and a little sass too. Catch you all soon. See you later, Doug, and thank you for coming in, and thank you for the purchase of this beautiful chapeau, which means hat in French. And thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. You have a great evening. I tell you, when Shell Bell's easy to get along with, but they must have really pushed her buttons for her to retaliate like that. Mm-mm-mm. The I was watching TV and they said something about the SNAP benefits. They're going to try to get the people partial money. Shell Bell. Sorry about that. I got choked. Hey, Bruce, welcome in. It's the first thing us ladies do. We grab somebody in the hair. But I really feel bad. I mean, about. I used to be notorious. You look like Mr. Clean. I used to be notorious for this barber shop. I would look through the door and this guy would be getting his hair cut, and I'd say, don't take any off the top. I make my doctor email my scripts to the pharmacy. When they deliver, I'm on a 6 pain meds, of 3 of which are government authorized, benzos and opioids. Thank goodness I'm treated very well here. Yeah, Bruce, speaking of pictures. But yeah, this country's in a bad shape, guys, and I'm not being a Debbie Downer. I got new insurance and had to switch pharmacies. Was with Walgreens for over 20. That's who I'm with, Shell Bell. And it does stink when you're used to people, certain people, and you have to switch. It's crazy. But yeah, it's Walgreens. I do too when I have to have something. CVS, yeah, where I live, there's a CVS and a Walgreens not too far from each other, and I think here in Indiana, Walgreens bought CVS or vice versa. Now, Bruce, Minnie, if I send some pictures to Gina and if appropriate, she can pass them. Now, hopefully, it's not too wild. I hear they get pretty wild on those cruise ships. As long as long as they're dressed and not twirling the speedo above their head, we're good. Oh, I will share it for sure. They get a little too much to drink and too many rounds at the bar and anything. There's not many with speedo, but us other people, some people should not be. That's be wearing them. That's true. Maybe they're looking in the maybe they're not looking in the same mirror as other people look in. I went to see those. Well, we got them lined up, Bruce. I hope it's exciting. So I bet there were a lot of speedo tan lines. I would, if I seen someone that really didn't look good in them, the first thing I would do would be laugh. Speedos are scary on the wrong person. Oh my gosh, you guys are killing me. I know it, guys. Like Dennis said, no, no, no one should be wearing a speedo. 75. That's true. Oh my gosh, I'm on one of these laughing kicks. That's true. If the wrinkles hang down further, if I'm not going to say it, it's not very, it may not sound very nice. Your news on health and chemist issues is very talked about here in Australia. I feel so sorry for people. I'm not laughing at you, Sandra. When I see laugh emojis in the chat for people like me with permanent disabilities treated poorly over there. Yeah, people can't help a disability. Some people are born like that. Some people are in. Laughing is good for the soul. We had a lot of laughs on the ship. Now, if you're wearing a speedo and your belly's hanging over so far you can't see the front of it, that's where I draw the line. You know, but yeah, there are health issues out there. Now, when you have that Chester drawer disease, oh my god, you guys run into a guy called Squirrel Man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, when the chest done fell to the drawers, it's time to retire that speedo. Oh gosh, how funny is that? Italian beaches, oh Lord, them are wild now. Italian beaches, you will see budgie smugglers. Oh my gosh, you will see budgie smugglers on huge obese men, and it boggles the mind. I bet. A bud, a bud. Oh, okay. I'm not even. Now, one thing about Sandra, she is. Hello, motion 29. Is that you, Clint? Clint. It has to be you. I hope it's you. It's probably Clint. I bet. I thought it was Clint. Here's the question. The question of the evening: would you or would you not wear a speedo on vacation? Inquiring minds want to know. That's Clint. We'll give you a few minutes to think about it before you. Well, you're a little. You're kind of a. If you're if you are depressed, run down. Come to Gina's chat room. Yeah, we'll make you smile. Why, Clint? You're thin enough. You could pull one off, and you're like 30ish. Me and you both, Tammy. Oh my goodness. Oh my, I got to tell you about this, guys. I go to the Y and they have a nice facility. They have, this is all under one roof. They have a place for the kids. It's got this tree and it has not a live tree, and it has a waterfall. There's two swimming lanes. There's a part that has a big slide that you come off that's kind of tubular. There is a cold water pool and there is a therapy pool. You're not fat, Clint. You're trigger finger on that one. Hey, Penelope, you're just in time. Well, we asked Clint if he would wear a speedo, and he answered really fast. But what was I? Okay, and this is the God's honest truth. This guy, he came. He just did it on purpose. He did not intend. Bruce, I bet you guys looked really cool in a neon orange or green speedo at night. And, oh my god! But he would walk in there. They do not wear a speedo. They want to be respectful. But anyway, this guy, he everybody was telling me about this guy that came in there with the speedo on, and I didn't see it until the fateful day. I mean, he was probably in his late 30s. Sorry, Nana. And he walks in there and he has a yellow one on. And I looked, I didn't, I mean, I forget. I had to turn back around because my face was red as fire. And he walks in and walks around and he walks out. It was yellow, yes. And I heard about him. I never seen him until that fateful day. I remember when they were first born at the Olympics, I was such an embarrassed child. I didn't know where to look. I know. And I had to turn around because I know my face was red. It had to have been. And he just walked in and did, you know, how a beauty queen takes the beauty walk, and just turned around and went out. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, you got to be kidding me. I don't know what color the first pair was. I guess he wanted someone to run over and throw a sash over his shoulder. They had an episode at the diving Olympics last year with Dude Speedo. You know what? I'll tell you, if you're diving in real deep water, the inertia or whatever they call it, you hit. Now this happened to me. And welcome in Penelope. But at least their bodies were designed for fat people. We're just taking liberties with them. Oh, I remember me being probably no more than 16 or probably 15. And I went, there's this place called Hardy Lake, and they had out further, they had this dock where the lifeguard sat, and there was a diving board. So I had a two-piece swimsuit on, and I wanted to do it. So I got on there and off I went. Now, you must remember when you hit the water, one goes down and the other comes up. Meanwhile, I'm trying to straighten my suit under the water where it can't be seen, and he's blowing the whistle, and I felt like slapping it down his throat. True that. Let me find where's my little, we almost run out of power. Wouldn't that have been a shame, guys? Let me get in here. Wouldn't that, I was trying to, the top went up and I was trying to straighten it up, and he was blowing his horn, his whistle, and I could have beat him to death. Here I'm trying to get everything straightened out, and he's blowing that whistle. And it was so embarrassing. I'm like, oh my, I didn't expect it to happen, but it did. And I thought, oh no, me trying to get out of it without being embarrassed. And he was blowing that whistle. And I was like, oh my God, would he shut up? Weird things. It was different. I didn't go off it no more. I knew better after that. I knew not, if you go off a diving board, you better have a one-piece suit on. And at a lot of our ages, we wouldn't attempt that. So, but I could swim a little bit. I could swim enough to save myself. But yeah, it was very embarrassing. Here I was tugging and pulling, and like, oh my God. But it's even worse when you get somebody that's wearing a Speedo that thinks they're the Diet Coke man, and they look like the devil, and they walk through there like they're all that and a bag of chips. And Sandra said that hey, Francis, welcome. They invented the Speedo was invented in Australia, according to Sandra and her. Francis, we've been having more fun than what should be allowed, but hey, we're waiting for those pictures to. But I'm sure it was. What was the name of the ship, Bruce? Yeah, we're true. We're true to ourselves, Francis. We're talking speedos, but anywho, yeah, we were guilty of just that. We are so guilty. Some of these places they wear those uh, thong bikinis, and I think that's wrong because some of them wear no bikinis. Hey, or Mama Chola, we're busted, guys. Mama Chola knows now. We're done busted for sure. I did sell my other hats, and that's a good thing. My beret, and I know Doug wants it, so good on him. Well, Bruce was talking about his vacation, and somebody was talking about a picture, and I said, "Oh yeah, Bruce." And he said he made pictures, and now all the ladies are wanting a slideshow. Now, Romel lives in the Philippines. Imagine the beach all for 365 days a year. You know, we were talking, one thing led to another, and it just came out. But like Bruce said, there should be no Speedo wearing 75 and over. Virgin Cruise Lines. Well, I'm glad they rerouted y'all because dang, you Jamaica was tore all to pieces. But we were talking about those SNAP benefits. You know, they're got all that hung up in Congress, and I think that it's sad because some people depend upon that, guys, and now they're saying they might get half of their benefits because of Congress. They can't make their mind up. They're arguing, and one won't give. The other one is like playing tug of war. Neither one of them will give in. And when it comes to the hey, bird on a wire, sweetheart, welcome in. When it comes to a child or someone that is a victim of circumstances that need these benefits, and I'm telling you guys, I think they're starting to open up food pantries in the event that, it's, I mean, who would ever thought that this is America, that someone would be, to think about someone being hungry, guys, really hurts my heart, but it's a reality. I think there's been a lot of money, people have been dipping into the money, and you don't miss the water till the well goes dry. And really, I think we should really pray about that because, there's mothers out there with babies that need to eat. And it really concerns me a lot, guys. It really does. And granted, there are some people that are getting them that can work, but I don't want to see any child go hungry. I'm feeling better, Mama Chola. There's still a little, each day you find out where a sore spot was, but it's getting better. I take Motrin. I don't take, you know, I might take a total of maybe 3 Motrin a day, and I'm doing better. But like I said, as we get older, man, them falls can be hazardous. And thank you, Mama Chola. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And they get hairy, but I just hope that they can get something straightened out on these. Yeah, they can be deadly, especially for someone that maybe say, I mean, it can be bad for anybody, but when the more up in age you get, the worse it is when you fall. I mean, it's just, and guys, everything that happens to us when we're younger always comes back to haunt us when we're older. But I'm doing okay. I'm just kind of taking it slow, and I got up myself off the floor, and I'm like, it's, you didn't, happen so fast. You don't even know what happened I know I missed the step on the way down, but it was like, wow. It was like wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I tripped over a speaker box in my hallway and broke my hip. When was that, Leslie? Yeah, Penelope, I was coming downstairs with, I had some wine glasses, and three were wrapped and one wasn't. And I missed the last step. So it was like, phew. And there was this desk at the end, and I was just really thankful that I didn't hit that desk because it would have been really bad. But I'm on the mend. I got a couple, there's one pretty wicked skin place. There's bruising, there's soreness, and what I did is I got and soaked in some Epsom salts for sore muscles. And I just, guys, whenever, no matter how bad it hurts, 2 years ago, bless your heart, Leslie, if you get hurt and you can get up, move, because the minute you sit down and you get back up, it hurts. If you keep those muscles in motion, yeah, I had Epsom salts and warm water. I just laid there like, Calgon, take me away, but it was Epsom salts. And it's just one of those things, guys, I tell you, makes you kind of, the falls are bad. Yeah, when you break your hip, I mean, that's like for one side or the other, that's like a central location where it has to do with a lot of balance. And, it's really, it's really hairy. So we have to learn to. My problem is I do not look down when I'm walking. My husband did draw a valid point, and he's right. I don't. I just look straight ahead. I'm like a horse in the Kentucky Derby with blinders on. Yeah, Minnie, I got a pair of. Oh, I'll show you this. I've had this for a while, and I don't think you guys saw it. Now that we're dawning right close to Christmas, and if I can get it up, this would make a wonderful little jewelry box for the little girl in your life. It does need to be cleaned, and I will take care of that. Man, and it's in really good shape, guys. I think basically all it needs to be is cleaned out. And here's why it can be for a little girl or a big girl. Once I stick that back in there, there's the top of it. That's why I say little girl or big girl. Then you open it up. You have a lovely mirror. You have the pink things like that. You do have your three drawers here, right there. And I think those handles may be glass. Isn't that pretty? And if you have a little girl that won't stay out of your jewelry box, put a few little pieces in here for her and she won't bother yours, right? Thank you, Minnie. Whoops, our screws come out. I was holding it by the wrong thing for a minute. Well, let's see. Do we have I'm going to have to tighten some screws on this, guys. They work loose on me. But it's in good shape. I guess the screws might have been loose from the beginning. But it is cute. It has the most lovely shade of pink. Let me see here, guys. Where's my screwdriver? See, what's she doing with the screwdriver up there in that? But anyway, this does need to be, it's just needs to be screwed back in. But it is lovely for that little girl that wants a jewelry box, so she'll stay out of yours. And what happened to Penelope? 50 days took. Oh my God, it's getting close. I know, you do remind me of a racehorse always running. Let's see. Let me check you out, Penelope, and see what's happening, Captain. Let's see here. move this up. I've had a few bad falls. Luckily, nothing broken. I have neuropathy. Oh my God, girl, you must have diabetes. I'm learning to slow down. That's what I need to do, Penelope. I've been hard headed my whole life. And yeah, I just need to tighten the screws. But look how lovely that is. Perfect for that little girl or that big girl. Okay, now back to what I was doing. Now, who wanted to see? This isn't straight in the thing yet, Benny, but this is, I think it's one of those, like a poster or something for Johnny Cash and Elvis Presley with Carl Perkins, National Guard Army, March 10th, 1956. The Man in Black. You got that right. Of course, all the good ones are gone, but then I also got these Kate Spade boots, and daggone it. Come on, look around. I forget to. My boots. And once my little toe gets better, I'll be sporting these for sure. And these are Kate Spade. They were brand new in the box with that classic Kate Spade bow and sequins. And these, the receipt was in there, however, it was faded. And it was from a place called Von Mar, Maur. And there it is, Kate Spade. The heel is just high enough to where it's not dangerous. Aren't those adorable? I could see wearing that with some red for Christmas, right? Yeah, they are Kate Spade. And I couldn't resist. Probably over $200 right here, and they're brand new. Yeah, Penelope. I know a lot of people do collect. And then I did get this book entitled Days to Remember, and it's a pictorial thing of things that happened in the past. Like it's got pictures of the Queen and Prince Rainier, and just different things from the that are really interesting. Let me find you a. And I don't read books, but I know a lot of people do like memorabilia. So I decided to pick this up because now this is something that we don't see every. Oh, mercy. Talk about scantily. Here we have a bunch of guys here looking at this lady right there. And right over here, whoops, down went Debbie. We have this piece of memorabilia, Jiffy Java hot coffee. So I guess coffee has always been a thing. Leslie McNeil, did you ever get my phone number? If not, get ready. I'm going to put it in here and erase it immediately. Whoever wants my phone number can have it. My hubby and I worked in music for years. My house is full of music and memorabilia. Oh, wow. I think all the good ones are gone, like, Elvis and Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash and different ones like that. And a lot of good. I like George Strait myself. I've always liked George Strait, and he's getting up there too, guys. He's getting up there, and it's just We all the good ones are gone. Now we have up and coming. Even Garth Brooks is old news because he's been out for a while, but he a lot of older music. It sure was. I think a lot of people enjoyed country music not only for the fact that it was good. A lot of it was good to dance to, but it told about stories about life in general, and so many good ones out there that have passed away, and of course we have the new ones coming on, and just that's why people like country music because it speaks to them about life in general, and everyone can relate to it. But it's just one of them things that I went to the memorial for Johnny Cash in Nashville, invited by his daughter Kathy. Very emotional. I bet Penelope, these singers came from nothing and they were poor, and then they got into the music business, and that's true, Francis. And I mean, these people know, that, like Dolly Parton, she didn't have nothing, and look at her now. And a lot of these people started out and they didn't have nothing, and they sung their way right up to the top. And it's nothing wrong with old school, but I always liked George Strait and Alan Jackson wasn't too bad, especially to look at, but they're all older now. So, you know, every now and then I'll tune in, put it on a country music station, sing live, and we will sing, we will see. Oh, Lord, Francis, I like Patsy Cline, and um, who else was there? I mean, a lot of them, went too soon, and I think she was one of them. I think she was. Oh Lord, Loretta Lynn. They are like our beacons for what we feel. That's true. That's why so many people can get into that because what they're singing about, we went through one time or the other, and we can identify, and to be able to listen to it. It's you got people like who else? Kenny Chesney is really a good one too. I don't see it neither. He's really a good singer. And Garth Brooks was good too, but I tell you, sometimes when they get on the road and they're gone for days and days, and they get out there and the women are throwing themselves at them. Yeah, he was. He really was. He had a really, I like that song, The Dance, the one he sung, The Dance, was in Hank 1, 2, and 3. I know it, Penelope. Isn't it great that now Jerry Lee Lewis was the cousin to Jimmy Swaggart, the evangelist, And that's probably where Jimmy Swaggart, I don't know who was older, got his talent. Boy, they could really, they were really talented. I don't see it neither. You know, I'm sure a lot of you can remember going to the where they to the corner drugstore. The older songs, "Stand by Your Man." The other older ones, "One Less Egg to Fry." I can't remember the title. Yeah, Tammy Wynette, George Jones, great with the piano. Oh yes, they would. That when they called Jerry Lee Lewis the killer, they wasn't kidding because he could really. I think a lot. I think sometimes people have natural talent; they are born with it. And from the first time, I have a story about Jerry Lee Lewis that a friend told me with her mom. He was saucy. I bet he was a little bit risque. You know, I think he lived his life as wild as he played that piano. You know, some of them, they party too much, and sometimes it gets the best of them. And really, guys, they're people just like us, and you know, and a lot of them was dirt poor, and they started out with nothing, and they really made a way for themselves. And I think sometimes it helps to um, be able to know when you get up here where you came from, and a lot of people are very once you climb that ladder and you start with nothing, you really appreciate you know starting from the bottom. Mm-mm. I wonder if it's not letting her show her comments. I see you right now, Mama Chola. I see your comment, but sometimes YouTube will do that. It'll get to the point where it'll do that. I like that Etta James song. I'd rather go blind. Yeah, that's a neat one. We are typing. We see, Mama see. There you are. You've got an emoji with hands on each side, but no number. Mama Chola, we see you, but there's no phone number. I don't see it neither. Let me go up here. Let me look. Let me look. I don't know why it's not maybe it's a YouTube thing. I don't know. I don't see it. Nope, I don't not seeing it. That is weird. Huh. 456 727. There we go. No one will ever be none the wiser. Yeah, the good ones are all gone. We're stuck with these. I always like that song by which is played at a lot of funerals, not bringing up depressing thing. The song, the dance, and the song that he sings, "The Thunder Rolls." I love that song. Yeah, Yeah, sometimes it's I like the now I like Reba McEntire too, and Tanya Tucker is good as well. I know it, Shell Bell. Boy, that would have been one. The Highwaymen concert, Johnny, Willie, Waylon, and Chris. Oh my goodness, I bet that was monumental right there. Oh yeah, all all the heavy hitters for sure. Thank you, Mama Chola. Oh yeah, that would have been one for the books. Lots of talent right there. Lots of talent. We'll never see any talent like that again, I guarantee you. Big time talent that was. Something that I always, this has nothing to do with singer, that Princess Caroline, where was it? Princess Grace or Princess Caroline, the one that went off of that ravine and died. Oh, what was it? It was Princess Grace or one of them. And they often thought that, yeah, Tanya Tucker has changed a lot also. Yeah. What Mother Nature gives us, Father Time takes away. They often thought that her daughter may have been behind the wheel, and I do too. That Princess Grace, and they often thought it was often speculated that, of course, you people talk that they thought that um, her daughter may have been driving, and they were into it about her daughter's relationship with this older man, or it could have been, we just never know. All right, Bruce. Grace Kelly, yeah. And Lady Diana, she was. It was tragic about her. It was told that she divorced um, Charles because he wouldn't quit chasing Camilla. Oh, really? I didn't know that, Brian. And she divorced him, and I think that he definitely had her killed. Yeah, because the word was that she was expecting a child from her then boyfriend, and back in those days, they were royalty. They didn't want scandal, and they would do anything they could to avoid it. So I really think that there was some shady stuff going on, and she was the people's princess, and that was so true because she went to so many poor nations and um, was so good to the children, and it was a shame. To me, there was really no difference between Camilla and Princess Diane. Yeah, that's true. I know, but it was very sad. It really was. And you got Lady Diana and Camilla. It's like prime rib and bologna. I mean, come on, And he just couldn't leave Camilla alone. And for the life of me, I don't know what. Of course, he wasn't no beauty himself. He didn't look. Lady Diana was way above his pay grade. Tanya is one of the backup singers in her new. Wow. We all know it's true. I mean, if you think about it, um, you know, bologna. It's like steak and bologna. There's like no comparison. That's okay, Brian, but so tragic, guys. Life is really uncertain. We just never know. We're on this earth. We do the best we can do, and that's all we can do. We just never know when. Some men like prim and proper, and some men just like it nasty. And I'm telling you, I believe that nasty part would fit Camilla. I mean, I don't know what she was doing for him, but it must have been effective. I'll check that out, Brian. Thanks. A nasty girl. That is so true. I mean, I didn't, of course, like I said, Charles wasn't nothing to look at, and neither was Camilla. So maybe they were made for each other. He always loved her, but was married. He needed an heir and a spare. Oh my goodness, yeah, Lady Diana. She was beautiful, and she was good-hearted. She really was. She was a princess, but she didn't take on that "I'm better than you" personification. She was just her, and she probably slaps him around like a rag doll, and he loves it. Princess Diana was way too good for him. You got that right, Shell. She really was, and I just felt so bad for her children and everything, and look at all that Kate. Which one was it? The one that they didn't want. What was her name? She was a true lady, poised and loving. Yeah. What was Oh, the one that, not Kate Middleton, but the other one that married and they was against her because they thought she was, well, she had her mixed heritage, and they didn't want him marrying a lady like Meghan, right? Meghan Markle, and she's a beautiful lady, and they really had a problem, and I think it pushed the other son far away from. He didn't want to be a part of that royal stuff. Diana didn't like living that kind of life, I don't think. Yeah, it's really sad that that her life ended so tragically like that. It really is. Of course, guys, there's always, with any news that big, there's always speculation. There's always an air of truth mixed with a darn lie. I don't know, Francis. There's people that, just because you're royalty does not make you God, for one thing. And I don't know, but in that royal culture, they're always under the microscope, and they just, to the point where it was ridiculous. I don't believe anyone should be judged on the color of their skin. We're all people. It doesn't. What makes us who we are is how we act and how we treat other people. And people are too caught up in things that they shouldn't be, really. They are, and you cannot tell someone who to love. They love who they love, and who or is anyone to tell someone not to love? I know, who cares? Well, there's probably more skeletons in that royal closet than we can count. We just don't know about them. It's just one of those things where it's all about the look. I know, Mama Chola, it's really hard to change who you love once you fall. That's true. And sometimes people only find that true love once in a lifetime. And when they find it and they're ridiculed over it, it's not good. People, you can't tell people who to love and who, you can't. When it comes to matters of the heart, it's best not to, give advice because people are going to love who they love and that's it. You know, life is too short to spend it with someone that, like, a lot of times there are prearranged marriages, and a lot of times people know very little about because it's, they were betrothed as kids, and this still goes on. And just think about this. You don't, you're betrothed to this person and you can't stand them and you love this other person and you're stuck with them. Thank you, Brian. And you're stuck with them. What kind of life would that be? I mean, when people get married, they look at it as a lifetime investment. And when you're betrothed and you find that person they find the person that they're betrothed to physically repulsive, that's bad, and it still goes on. I think that's why, looking back at, I watched this thing on how they unearthed all the mummies and King Tut and Cleopatra and Nefertiti. And, during the reason why a lot of them didn't live as long as, because there was a lot of, and this is true, guys, there's a lot of distant inbreeding in that family to secure that royal blood. And just like Tutankhamun, he died very young because he was, yes, there was, because not, dad, it was a cousin. and and the reason why they did that was to secure, and how wrong it might have been. It's sort of what happened to Charles, if you think about it. He always wanted to marry Camilla, and his parents did not want him because she was a commoner. She was a divorced woman. It all ended in tragedy. Yes, it did. If they just would have left him alone, see, they're still doing it with Meghan Markle. If you don't fit that certain criteria, then you're just not, to protect their wealth, to keep that. And that's what happened. It was way down the line. And that's true, guys. If you ever watch those documentaries, some of them didn't live long because there was too close of a genetic thing going on, and that's the way it was, guys. It was totally wrong, but that's how people looked at it. They wanted to keep it, you know. But really, they unearthed the mummies and there in these tombs there was a lot of wealth in those. And yeah, they felt like that. Well, and to me they unearthed, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, but they unearthed all those mummies, and there was, I mean, vast, the Egyptians were buried with some amazing, and most of it was gold and a lot of it was gemstones. And to me, guys, I don't think you should defile or dig into anyone's grave, even if it's for history or whatever. I just think that, some people believe that of course, it may be a myth, that when someone disturbs one of their tombs, that's not a good thing. I don't think you should dig up someone to put in a museum Hey, nephew Troy, I don't think you should go in anyone's grave with her. You're right. I agree, Mama Chola, because, and welcome in, nephew Troy. I believe that even though, and you know what it's about greed, because people knew that there was vast treasures in these tombs and they wanted to get their hands on it, and it was done for money. Now, I really, even though, I think you should not disturb anyone's grave in any form or fashion at all. And they knew there was a lot of wealth in there. I think it was more for the stature of saying, "Hey, I found this, and look at this." And I don't think you should, even though really our body is just a vessel for what's important, that's the soul, but still there should be respect paid, and don't get in there because you're going to make, you know but I find it interesting, all the structures that were built back then, and how, and they didn't have the modern conveniences that we have today. And just to look at how, I mean, they had a lot of gold, and they did reserve that for, for the hierarchy of the Egyptians, which, somebody had to lead them, right? But that's I think that once someone is buried, that's what they shouldn't get in it. Have a little respect for God. They won't ever bother me. I got nothing. They would just be practicing. Well, fortunately, the nephew Troy, it is against the law to unearth a body after it's buried. I don't think it matters what you have in this life. Uh, we're all going to pass. It's the law of nature. We're all going to pass away, and I don't think that you know they now back in Dr. Frankenstein's day, and really, guys, they're making so many concrete jungles. Is like, where are they going to bury these people? I mean, everywhere you look, there's something popping up, and pretty soon, they're not going to have anywhere to bury people. And there's so many of this stuff popping up that it's life is precious. Enjoy it and do what makes you happy. I agree with that. It's precious. None of us know when our day's coming, and you know as long as you're not do what makes you happy, as long as it's right and it doesn't affect another person. And I tell you, we just don't know. I think sometimes we take for granted the how special life really is, and that in the blink of an eye it could all be gone. Nobody is promised. That's true. No one is promised tomorrow. And that's why I say, guys, if you love someone, tell them, because like you said, tomorrow's not promised. And don't miss that opportunity to do that. And I'm a firm believer in that, to tell people that you love them while they're still around, because once they're gone, it's too late. And it's just cheers to that 710. But yeah, it's and we're all getting older. We can't stop that. It's just, and I just, I pray that, Alzheimer's and dementia is a bad thing, guys. And Brian knows all about it because his mother had it. And my mother in law had it as well. And it's really hard, guys, to see. Now, I understand that dementia is an advanced version. Alzheimer's is it starts with Alzheimer's and then it goes into dementia. So they start out with the Alzheimer's first and then it progresses. They do have medicine to slow it down, but they cannot stop it. They can't stop it. It's a horrible thing. It really is, guys. And, and it's really hard, but, it's thanks for supporting Aunt Gina. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Thank you, Nephew Troy. That's another one of my little adopted fellas. And right above you, Nephew Troy, is my little brother Brian, another adopted YouTube. And look at all those sisters out there. You never be short as long as you're on YouTube. You never be short of a sister, that's for sure. But yeah. B vitamins are good for the mind. And I think vitamins is a good idea as long as you clear it with your doctor. There you go. You got a 2 for 1. And it's really good for you. And a lot of people, I'm not good on taking vitamins, just telling you. But they are good for you. They do not, when taken appropriately, they have no side effects. But you always want to tell your doctor when you go in for that visit that we all should go at least once a year, that you should let them know about what I'd like to take this, and they know about your medicine, and just let them know that. And you'll live a nice long, check with the doctor if you are on medication. Yeah, because a lot of times, now one thing I know, if you take, what's that medication that you cannot eat grapefruit or drink grapefruit juice? I forget which one it is because it has a very bad side effect to it. But it's as we get older, our body changes, and what was new is older, and sometimes we have to take medication. My doctor tells me to smoke weed and chill. I love my doctor. That's, they do have medical marijuana in those gummies. And if you have, I think Nephew Troy does deal with a lot of pain that he deals with as well. And it could be similar to the pain that Brian deals with. And, it's not a bad thing, if you can get something that helps you with pain and makes your day a little bit easier and helps with some problems. Yeah, it's it's been around for a long time, and I think actually the Indians probably got that started. That was probably what was in the peace pipe, right? She's a med doctor. She's very natural and helps many issues. I'm telling you, we're 1 minute we're young and vibrant, and the next minute we're saying, "Oh, my back is killing me." But hey, we just have to grow old gracefully and be glad that. Oh, was it Mama Chola? I wonder who. Glad it's helping. Yeah. Statins and many others react with grapefruit. Yeah. You don't want to mix grapefruit juice or grapefruit because it was not good, One thing that I have discovered while being on YouTube and observing, there are so many of you guys out there with not just pain, chronic pain that you're dealing with, and a lot of times, dealing with pain, it's almost it's really hard, guys. Not that, and I know a lot of you out there have chronic pain. Speaking of tombs. They dig up an old tomb in China 3,000 years ago, and it had weed in there with them. Well, I'll be darned. That is and that was 3,000 years ago, so it's been around for a long time. And don't take too much castor oil. Oh my gosh. I remember when we were kids that they would line us up and they would have us take a teaspoon of that or tablespoon, and it was the nastiest stuff. Yeah, long term pain patient. Yeah. I know that's why they gave it to us, nephew Troy, if just in case we had problems with that. Oh, I can still remember that and the way it tasted. Ugh. The castor oil is a good skin. It's good for your skin. It's good for your hair. It just is disgusting when consumed. But yeah, I remember being lined up and having to take that stuff. Here, this'll. If your tummy's hurting, we'll take care of it. The good old days, yeah, when things were so much simpler and stuff like that. So marijuana's been around for centuries. Then I mean, it's better than topical. Yeah, a lot of times when you get into the topical, the we're talking about fentanyl. They patches back in the 1900s. Green, yeah, Brian drinks green tea, and green tea's good for you. And yeah, that fentanyl is now you're in bad shape when they put you on them fentanyl patches. I know, Penelope. It's also great for your hair, right? It's good for your hair. It's very moisturizing. I guess tea too. All I drink is tea of some sort. I drink water and coffee. That's my main. Every now, I'm not much of a soft drink drinker. I just maybe if I'm out in a restaurant, but I'm not much on, you know, whatever's. But yeah, I guess that's been around for a while. But nephew Tori, yuck! I don't like coffee. Well, everybody has their own thing, and I tell you, coffees went up because of the tariffs. Brazil, it's where the coffee, a lot of that comes from. Yeah, any kind of it has health benefits. I like I like some flavored coffees and stuff like that. But I tell you, everything's. I just hope things will get straightened out and they'll quit squabbling over these tariffs I know that Trump had a point. We have paid our share of tariffs to China. We really have. And when the shoe's on the other foot, it kind of hurts, doesn't it? Kind of pinches a little bit. But yeah, we have paid our share. Moderation is the key. Yeah, it really is. But the tariffs and stuff like that is if they don't get that. I mean, it's terrible. And I hate to talk about politics, but politics affects all of us. When some big wig down there makes a decision like they're doing now, and it affects us. Let's face it. I'm not here trying to drum up votes for anybody. I'm just speaking figuratively. Yeah, coffee has benefits. Yeah, but coffee causes kidney stones too, and so does tea and stuff like that. And boy, them kidney stones, I had one and it was not fun. But we should take the best care of what we have and stuff like that and carry on and be there for our families, our kids, our grandkids, so on and so forth. We gotta Gotta take care of yourself. And like I said, everything that happens to us when we're younger always comes back. Three things I avoid talking about. Everybody has opinion on politics, religion, and sports. I'm going to call this current events. I drink more water so I get them. Yeah, they say a urologist told my husband if he would drink a tablespoon of lemon juice and water every day, he'll never get another one. And what that does is there's acidity in that, and it breaks what a kidney stone is calcium, and it'll break it down in your. Oh yeah, my young self broke me. Laugh out, yeah. I know when you're young and you get have an injury and you heal fast, you go on, and then when you get older, it comes back on you, and you're getting up in the morning and say, "Oh, my back." I bought me some real lemons. Oh, I love lemonade. Yeah, we always have to. You have to realize what happens to you when you're young. It's coming back when you're older. It is. Any injury that you've ever sustained, it will come back on you for sure. Boats, we always have these heart to heart talks on here. I cannot do a live unless I'm talking. And I think it's good for people when, it's good to be able. I think I missed you guys more than likely. And when I miss you and when I love to be in your company, guess what? Yeah, we talk about a lot of things. And yeah, it's, as long as we're talking about things and not so much. It's really good for people. It helps you get your mind off. You might have had a bad day, or you just needed to relax and listen to me tell jokes and be silly and laugh. See, we got to laugh, and laughter is the best medicine. Yes, sir. My little brother is talkative, but I do enjoy hearing him talk about, things because he lives in Virginia. And I never get bored. Sometimes I get sleepy at night, but yeah, I'm what just call me Wendy. I think CLR it cleans shower heads and sinks, so it must be okay for the gut. Oh my gosh, don't drink that. I enjoy it too. Gene always brings smiles. Well, I'm glad that I can bring a smile to your face and lighten the load of the day. And don't you dare drink that CLR. If you want to cleanse your gut, take something herbal, and if you're having problems, and if you're really in a pinch, castor oil works every time. No, I'm kidding. I remember I remember having to take that stuff. They'd line us up, and I would like, ugh, yuck. So now that I've talked you totally into oblivion and you're questioning your sanity, no, I'm kidding. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go downstairs and have me some coffee, maybe a little treat. And here it is, 9 o'clock. So thank you guys for coming in. You know what I'll be doing? I will be on the end of a hook doing that next project. So you guys take care. I love you guys. I'm glad you came in. You always make my day. I hope I made yours. And love all the way around the states because everyone is from different states. And I'll catch you later, guys. Night, night. It's only 9:01. So there's still time for you to get in a good book or something. So I will catch you later and be good. And if you can't be good at it. Good night, everyone. And I'll catch you later. I sure will. Love you guys. Oh, good night. Good night.